Okay, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and get this meeting started tonight. If everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. Thank you. Okay, are there any changes to the agenda?
I have none.
We have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Schindler,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
Aye.
Mayor Horn.
And I vote aye. Okay, next item is awards, presentations, appointments, or proclamations. We have none tonight. So we'll move on to citizens' comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the city council on any item within the jurisdiction of the council. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern, identify themselves, and use the microphone. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the city council this evening, and all items will be referred to staff for a follow-up and a report. Citizens' comments submitted in writing to the city clerk by 5 p.m. on the day of the city council meeting shall be distributed to the city council and included in the record, however they will not be read. Do we have any citizens that would like to speak? Council? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Next item is public hearings. We have none tonight. We have 21 items in our consent calendar. What would council like to do?
I'd just like to pull 5.11.
Any others, council? Okay, start off with 5.11, Councilman Vosberg.
Yeah, I'd just like to add a little rider onto this one. Basically, this is going to send staff to work to come up with some little bit of changes in the code, and I just wanted to see if we could add in a change for mobile detailing. And I've already spoken to Sean about how that would happen, kind of like splitting mobile detailing to the side and not having it done with general car washes. And so if we could just work on that and then come back and see what we think.
Okay, you guys have any questions to that item? No? Okay. We have, what would council like to do? We have a motion to approve?
I'd like to motion to approve the consent calendar with the changes to 5.11.
And I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye.
Mayor Horn,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Schindler,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to our next item, 6. We have 2 items tonight. The first one to discuss is discussion, direction, and potential action regarding Measure J and further consideration and potential adoption of Resolution Number 4211 or Resolution Number 4212, calling for a municipal election to submit to the voters a local ballot measure extending or removing the sunset date for the 1% transactions and use sales tax to fund Kalinga City services, including police and fire protection and other services, requesting the Board of Supervisors of Fresno County to consolidate a municipal election on a local measure with other elections to be held on November 5th, 2024.
Thank you. So this item was actually prepared by the city attorney. He is connected via Zoom, so he can explain the resolutions. But before he does that, I did add some language to his staff report, and that has to do with the survey that was conducted at the request of the council. So staff prepared a survey, and a link was mailed to each residence in Coalinga to be completed by May 31st, 2024. Unfortunately, the city only received a total of 128 survey responses, with 114 being completed in English and 14 being completed in Spanish. The summarized results are as follows. For question number 1, it asked, are you in support of the city of Coalinga extending the 1% Measure J sales tax beyond April 1st, 2029 to continue or enhance current service levels? 53 people answered yes, 41 people answered no, and 34 did not answer the question. Question number 2 said, are you in support of extending the 1% Measure J sales tax without a new sunset date? 29 people said yes, 20 said no, and 79 did not answer. The next question asked, are you in support of extending the 1% Measure J sales tax with a 10-year sunset, which would be through April 1st, 2039? 42 answered yes, 7 answered no, and 79 did not answer. They were also asked if the 1% Measure J sales tax was extended, understanding that some of the revenue is already tied to funding positions, what would you like to see remaining funding allocated to? And there's a long list that citizens had responded with that council can read. And they were asked, if you don't support Measure J, why are you not in support of Measure J? And then there's a long list of responses to that. So staff's really here tonight seeking direction from council on the 1% Measure J sales tax. It's not a new tax. It would be an extension of the existing tax. And if you would like to place it on the ballot in November, that was the last direction, but really what was up in the air was whether you want to sunset on it or not. And so I'll leave it to Mario so he can explain the 2 resolutions that are there.
Thanks, Marissa. So council, so the current tax expires April 1st, 2029. And if council and the future councils do nothing, then it will expire on that date. There are 2 resolutions that are attached. So 4211 and 4212. So 4211 extends it. I have it written in there basically arbitrarily as a 10-year extension. So extending it from the current 2029 expiration to 2039. And again, that's just arbitrary because we don't know what the council wants. So if you're in favor of sunsetting it, but not necessarily on that date, you would just make a motion and revise that date to whatever date the council can agree on. 4212 completely removes the sunset. And so if council wants to completely remove the sunset, then they would just pass resolution 4212. That would be put up in either instance, it would be then put on the ballot for the voters to decide. So if, for example, you said the council wants to do the 10-year additional to 2039, then you would pass resolution 4211, and then it goes to the voters. It doesn't extend it. It goes to the voters for them to approve the extension. And of course, it has to pass in order for the extension to take place. If council wants to get rid of the sunset entirely, then you would pass resolution 4212. And then again, it goes to the voters. It would go this November, and they would decide whether it would be removed or not. So you obviously have a few options. Number one, you can do nothing at this time, and then it would the tax would continue to operate. And if nothing else happens between now and April of 2029, then it would expire. You could pass the resolution to extend the sunset to some date, 10 years, 5 years additional, 20 years additional, whatever you'd like to do. And then another option would be to completely remove the sunset, and again, that would just remove it out of the tax entirely, and it would never expire, or unless there was some other initiative to have it sunset at some point. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But that's essentially the gist of what's on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, I have one thing. I was the one that brought up resolution number 4212 about getting rid of the sunset. But after doing some research and talking to a few people, including one of our councilmen, I'm in agreement that we need to keep that sunset. Each time we do bring it back, that keeps the city council and our city staff accountable to do what we say we're going to do. So I think it needs to stay in place with the sunset each time. So do we have to put both resolutions on, or can we just push for the one?
No, you can just, you don't want to do both of them, you just want to do one or the other. And so if council is thinking we want to keep a sunset, then the only other question for council is, do you want 10 years or some other period? If you want a 10-year extension of the sunset, then you can pass resolution 4211 as is. Otherwise, you need to agree on a date, however many years that you want to change it to.
Okay, what would council like to do? I know I'd like to remove the resolution 4212 and move forward with the 4211.
It looks like by the numbers that the 10-year, if that averages out, would be the best sunset, adding another 10.
Yeah, with the sunset. Like I said, it holds us as a council accountable, and it also holds the city staff accountable as well, that we're appropriating the funds to where we say we're going to. And but I think we need to vote on this one, right?
Yeah, so someone would need to make a motion to adopt resolution number 4211.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 4211 and remove resolution number 4212.
I'll second it.
We have roll call, please.
Mayor Horn,
Aye.
Councilman Hedgecock,
Aye.
Councilman Schindler,
Aye.
Councilman Vosberg,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez.
I would aye.
Thank you,
We'll move on. Thank you, Mario. Can we move on to our next item? Direction regarding one vacancy in the Planning Commission. Marissa.
Thank you. So tonight, staff is seeking council's direction regarding one vacancy on the Planning Commission. With the recent resignation of Commissioner Pruitt, there is now a vacancy on the Planning Commission which will need to be filled. Members of the Planning Commission shall be appointed by the council, and any vacancy occurring on the Planning Commission by reason of death, resignation, removal, or disqualification shall promptly be filled by the council for the unexpired term of such member. Commissioner Pruitt's last reappointment occurred on January 17th, 2023, which means that her term was set to end on January 17th, 2027. Therefore, the person appointed by the council will serve out the remainder of Ms. Pruitt's term, which would be January 17th, 2027. And so staff is just seeking direction from the council on what you'd like to do. If there's a member of the public that you would like to nominate and council can agree, you can vote tonight to appoint someone. You can direct staff to solicit applications and bring them back for council consideration. I would say that the sooner we can get it filled, the better. We have an application that needs to go before Planning Commission for the old Church of Christ property across from Campus Drive-In. And so getting a fully staffed Planning Commission on board sooner rather than later would be ideal, but it's up to the council how you'd like to fill that vacancy. Our next city council meeting, we have the special meeting on the 20th, on June 20th, but we have a council meeting in July, only one, because the initial falls on the 4th of July. So July 18th would be when you could potentially appoint someone if you don't do so tonight.
Okay, would council like to do application process, or is there someone, because we actually have somebody here that was interested in the seat, but would you prefer to do the application first and then go off the application like we did the last time?
So, just my personal opinion, I always like to, I think since I've been on council and moving forward, we've always put it out to the public. That way that we can find people that, I know that there's a couple people that are interested that I think we would probably agree on, but just for the public's idea to for us to do, in transparency. And last time I didn't even know Rocco was interested, and he came forward, and that was cool. And I was like, wow, so sometimes we find people that we don't know that are interested, and we always want to give people a shot. But I'll do whatever the rest of the council wants to go. Whatever the rest of the council wants to do, I'll go with.
It sounds like we need to get this going pretty quick because we've got some things that need to get planned. So is it possible we can put it out there? I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or 4 weeks to be able to get an application or two in? Or should we do it shorter than that, within 2 weeks?
We can do the application period as long as council would like, as long as we have applications due no later than July 3rd. You'd be able to appoint someone at the July 18th council meeting.
Sound good? Okay, I think that's what we want to do then. And we'll be able to put it on social media and our site as well. Okay.
Correct, and I know Mary usually puts it in the newspaper.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, we'll move on to announcements, city manager's announcements.
I just want to remind everyone that Wednesday of next week, the city observes the Juneteenth holiday, so City Hall will be closed on Wednesday.
Any council members have any announcements or reports?
Oh, yeah. So Hilda's not here tonight, so I'll just let everyone know that this Saturday, summer reading starts at the library. They're going to have a summer reading kickoff. They're going to have some trucks. I think they're going to have a snow cone machine. So bring your families, come to the library, sign up, read some books. It's a good thing to keep your kids reading over the summer. That way it's easier for them to transition back into school. It doesn't take a lot of time, and they can win some prizes and they can have some fun. And I think almost every weekend except for July 4th weekend that they're going to be doing something all the way till August. So if you have, friends and family, kids, adults, it doesn't matter. We have something for everyone.
I just want to say I'm very pleased with the high school, the way they perform their celebration. I've gone to a couple graduations this year, and they just hand their diploma by. So I'm very, very excited and that we have that tradition going in our town, that the school keeps on, giving them what they deserve, because it is 4 years that they spent from their lives to growing up to get out there in the world. And it just makes me happy that Coalinga still has traditions going around, because it's pretty sad when we go. I know other schools are big, but it just, here you go and that's it. So I'm glad that Coalinga still has that going on. So other than that, just stay out of the sun and stay cool.
I only have one announcement, and that is, and I'll bring it up at the next meeting as well, and that's for our Independence, our 4th of July, that we're going to be doing here for the city out there at the sports complex. Will be on the 29th from, I believe, 6 o'clock till until the end of the evening. They're also got a bunch of baseball tournaments, and they have cornhole tournaments and a bunch of different things they're trying to bring in for this year. So keep an eye out for that. Next items, future agenda items. Future agenda items.
I have a couple. First off, I don't know if I need a future agenda item for this, but if I do, I'd like to see the city engage in an informational campaign for Measure J, like we did last time, so that we can, keep the public informed on what we're doing and what the benefits and whatnot are. And then the second thing that I'd like to do is set a time with Commissioner Pruitt to give her kind of a award or recognition for her time that she spent on Planning Commission. I know she moved, but she did say that she would be willing to come back to accept an award. So if we could have city staff reach out to her and set up a good time, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, any other items at this time? Okay, and I have none as well. So we're going to move on to the next. We have closed session. We have one item for that tonight. with that being said, meeting is adjourned until next, June 20th, 2024.